From Lalate News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings Lalate.
It's a big morning on Mornings Lalate, live from Santa Monica with incredible news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we'll go over the world exclusive that came in late last night as more viewers are told by Bernie Sanders' office he's giving you a stimulus check. We'll be cutting to the reconciliation bill, the first 745 pages released, and it's all deliciousness. Checks for Americans, checks for seniors, checks for children, checks for workers, checks for hazard pay. Lots of checks in the first 645 pages. Then we'll be cutting to cluster number 2 that's likely to get written up in the bill in the next day. These are lots of checks, like checks for weatherization of your home through tornadoes and hurricanes. Then in cluster number 3, the checks include checks for seniors and also checks for workers. I'll go over all those details. Then we'll cut to the surprising developing details about $13 billion now available for your cities and counties and states for rent and utility assistance. We thought that was gone. We thought all this money got its final cash infusion. Guess what? There's a brand new cash infusion. And then out of nowhere came a big shocker. That shocker on top of other shockers was this. One viewer's told that Ron Wyden is proposing to put SS200 into the fourth stimulus recon. Oh my goodness, the coffee is brewing, the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, this and the bacon's missing, but everything else is here. This is Mornings Lalate. Well, there we go. I just killed the audio. Yeah, now let's just put some more theme music back in there, shall we? There we go. Hey, good morning, everybody. That's a little bit better. Hope you're having a beautiful morning across the board. There's so much excitement here. I am just giddy. Boy, it's an exciting day with Bernie Sanders' office telling viewer after viewer he's putting a stimulus check in the fourth stimulus reconciliation budget bill. We'll be going over that budget bill, the first 645 pages of it. Deliciousness, checks of all kinds, including hazard pay, including $4,000 to care for adults and also money for your car, vehicle, and even your home. My goodness. Then in cluster number 2, we go to the other sets of checks, including upwards of $1,700. You have to stay home from work. Then in cluster number 3, you get checks for seniors, checks for workers, even free internet checks. And then out of nowhere, the big exciting details that no one saw coming, which was an additional $13 billion coming out your cities and counties and states for rent and utilities. We thought that was the last cash infusion. No, sirree. More money for rent and utilities. I'm going to show you how you get these big sums of money as we go into a big morning live from Santa Monica. The coast is clear. I'm here, you're here, and this is Mornings Lalate. Wow, what a day it is. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible game-changing family. We made history putting a second stimulus check in there. We're on the cusp of doing it again on the fourth stimulus. Subscribe and be part of this incredible family right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP, so you get access to all the big money available under first and second, delivered daily from me to you. More about that later, but let's cut right into the first 645 pages of that reconciliation budget bill and the checks that are in there. Checks of all kinds. I'm going to get right to the checks off the bat. There's checks for hazard pay. There's checks for cars and electric vehicles. Checks for students. Checks to fix your home in low-income communities. And there is $51,000 of MSCs, and additionally, $4,000 of checks to care for seniors. Wow. Let's go over all the details of each of one of them, starting right now. Hazard pay. Lifetime, baby. Under fourth stimulus recon, everything in this fourth stimulus is not COVID related. So you do no longer have to think, is it because of COVID? No, nothing in fourth stimulus is because of COVID. So hazard pay, a lifetime add to the tax code. What's happening? Hazard pay was first introduced to this channel in 2020 under the HEROES Act. Did not make it to the finish line, but got there in third stimulus. What did they do for hazard pay? They modified an old tax code called the Earned Income Tax Credit, increasing the eligibility so more people qualified for it. And they also increased the amount of money so that hazard pay people could get this. Guess what? Third stimulus was only for a few years, so now they're coming back and making it lifetime. So if you do work as essential worker every year over the next many years, and you fall within that income threshold, you will qualify for this earned income tax credit. It's incredible. Then the big surprise that came out of nowhere, $4,000 to care for the elderly, $4,000 to care for other people. Where did that come from? Representative Richard Neal, head of the Ways and Means Committee, surprised us all with a big shocker. You'll be provided up to $4,000 a year per person if you care for the elderly. This is huge because a lot of you may be care providers for seniors. You may qualify for this. Additionally, there's an additional $4,000 if you care for children. How about $51,000 of MSCs? In this video, you're going to learn that I'm now adding the word IRS when referring to the Bernie issue, the IRS checks. But MSCs, yes, you're qualifying for a lot of multiple checks in here, but how about monthly? $51,000 of it sounds deliciousness. It is. They're going to take the third stimulus provision about the children and make it a lifetime. If you're a parent of a child in a low-income household and you remain in a low-income household for the next 18 years of that child's life, from birth to 18, you will get upwards of $300 a month per child for 18 years, which amounts to about $51,000. Yes. Then how about fixing your home? If you live in a low-income community, there is money in here to rehab or fix that home. It's different than the other money for home coming in cluster number 2 of checks, which I'm getting to in about 3 minutes from now. This is money to rehab a home in a low-income community. How about my students? Yes, students will have grants. The Pell's grant will be tax-free, and then they're going to be adding other grants in there, either directly to you or to the community or to the colleges. That's in addition to the other grants that I'm getting to in the third cluster. Yeah, there's another cluster of grants later in this video. You see why there is so much money in here. How about a bike? How about a car? Let's go over that right now. Do you want a bike for any use, whether it's personal travel or business? Federal government will pick up 15% of the price tag if it's an electric bike. How about a vehicle? For personal use, for pleasure. The federal government will pick up to $7,500 for the next electric vehicle you buy from the number 3 auto manufacturers in the U.S. There's talk on a way to expand this eligibility for import electric vehicles as well. If it's a car for business use, they'll also pick it up at a different rate additionally. Wow, just lots and lots of checks in that first 645 pages. But what is 645 pages? Is it the whole bill? No, it's not. It is just the first 645 pages of what could be upwards of an 8,000-page bill. These 645 pages of checks were the result of negotiations by Democrats on the Senate and Democrats on the House side behind closed doors. They're not on the Senate floor. They're not on TV. They're not on C-SPAN. They're not on the Senate or House floor. They're on the phone or in their offices saying, what do you think about this item? I like it. I like it. Go write it up. And once they have enough things to go write it up, it became this. These first 645 items were the items that were easy to agree upon. They went and wrote it up. Who wrote it up? The House subcommittees, and there you go. Cluster number 2. We're going to get to in a second. Cluster number 2 has 12 wonderful checks, including upwards of $1,700 of paid family or medical leave per week. That cluster number 2 are checks that the Democrats have been talking about nearly day in, day out. They're likely to get this to bill writing in the next hours or days. I'm going to go over that in a second. Cluster number 3 are the checks the president has proposed that are, in addition to these, checks for seniors, checks for workers, checks for rent, checks for dental and vision, and even free internet. That's coming up in just a second as well. But first, of course, the big exciting news. I had told viewers to pick up the phone and call your Democrat senators and push for a stimulus check. And the start of the start happened with WR. Nearly 8 weeks ago, I said, pick up the phone and call your Democratic senators. And WR, longtime viewer of this channel, picked up the phone and called Senator Democratic Chris Coons, that's Coons, Senator, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's old confidant. And Senator Chris Coons' staffer told WR, yes, he's putting a monthly stimulus check in the forced stimulus recon. Then 3 weeks ago, I told viewers to call Senator Bernie Sanders. You're going to see later in this video what happened with Brother Joshua and the conversation for a monthly stimulus check. But then 2 days ago, viewers started following my advice and picking up the phone and calling again because Bernie Sanders said he needs to hear from you verbally about what you want in that stimulus package. And here we go. We had the incredible details 2 days ago as Donnie, a longtime viewer of this channel, said the following message. I called Bernie Sanders and his secretary and said she said they're going to be doing a fourth stimulus check. I said, this is what I need. My city needs it. I need it to progress. I need it for my water and everything I needed. I told her, and she said, okay, they are doing a fourth. The breaking news last night, and you're hearing for the first time on this channel right now in another world exclusive. Here you go. Hurricane Tina, longtime viewer of this channel, Purple Hawk, last night reveals the following in the show. I called Bernie's office. I got through, and they did say they're putting in another stimulus check. This morning on the morning's countdown, live on air, Carolyn Smith gave us this update just about 2 hours ago today. I called Bernie Sanders' office and talked to his secretary, told her what we needed, help out, hear people, we're losing our homes. That's what she said. She agrees. And Bernie's also putting a stimmy in there. Wow, there you go. World exclusives you're only hearing on this channel because this channel is together as a family making history once again. Make that push, but guess what? There's a surprise everywhere. And every minute of the day there's a surprise, and this surprise came out of nowhere. From Yaya, spoke to another Wyden, that's Senator Ron Wyden's staffer, who says he wants to put SS-200 in the forced stimulus as promised. What? Oh my goodness. More about that coming up in a second. That is a shocker. The other shocker came yesterday when Department of Treasury gave us a big update about third stimulus. Janet Yellen's office, Department of Treasury, announced that they have another $13 billion going out to cities and counties and states for rent. This is huge. If you're one of the viewers who have reached out to their city, county, or state for rent and got it, congratulations. But if you reached out to one of them, they said, we ran out of money, get that number off your cell phone and get ready to call them today and ask them, is the money there yet? Department of Treasury is sending out another $13 billion. So far, they have sent out $25 billion and then another $8 billion. This is $13 billion after that. Treasury says we're happy to provide the state and local governments with additional sums for the Americans in need of rental assistance. This is for rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. It's part of the $47 billion allocated under third stimulus. Another $13 billion is landing this week. More about third stimulus and the excitement of that coming up in a second, but let's get back to those forced stimulus checks. Cluster number 2, the next 12 of checks, not yet in bill format, but likely to, because all Democrats are talking about this morning, noon, and night. These are 12 incredible checks. Let's get to this cluster number 2 starting right now. Checks for expansion of paid family leave and paid medical leave. What's paid family leave? That's, for example, your spouse is pregnant. What's paid medical leave? For example, your son broke his leg. Remember, nothing in forced stimulus is COVID related. It's just in general. These are lifetime changes to the tax code. So how much would it pay? Well, it's a lot. Under third stimulus, they talked about doing this, and they said $1,700 up to $1,700 a week if you make $71,000 or more per year as an employee. Okay, let's split that in half. So let's say you make $30,000 a year. You would get $800 a week. Let's split that in half again. Let's say you make $15,000 a year as a worker. Then you would get up to $400 a week for every week of paid leave, medical leave. This is incredible news. Who would pay the money? The federal government to your employer, and then they would pay the money to you. What about check number 2? Building up the child care program. Number 3, household tax credits. Number 4, expansion of Medicare benefits. You're going to see this in cluster number 3, including checks for dental, checks for vision, checks for hearing, and reducing the Medicare eligibility age. Checks for the Affordable Care Act subsidies. Then what about weatherization from your home checks? Yes, so these are different than the checks in the first cluster. Weatherization in your home is if, for example, you live in a hurricane area, or tornado, or fire area. The federal government will give you checks to weatherize your home. This is in cluster number 2. The next 2 items are money for students. Well, there is universal pre-kindergarten. So the federal government will pay you checks for that child to go to pre-kindergarten. And the next one I personally love. It's free checks for community college, not to get a degree, just to go there because, you're always saying, I don't understand what Lalate saying. He talks that strange language, that accent. It must be French. Well, pardon my French, you can now learn French at the community college. They have a community college class called, what the hell is Lalate talking about? It will now be totally tax-free. Then there's checks for green energy and also checks for other items a little bit complicated for us. There you go. Wow, this is huge and this is very exciting. Now let's go over how they get this done. Cluster 3 checks, which I'm going to get to in a second, is the third cluster checks. Doesn't mean they go third in time or they write their third in time. It doesn't mean it's the last cluster. These are just different clusters they've released to us. You saw in that first 645 pages that when Representative Neal put that $4,000 a year in there for caring for the elderly, that came out of nowhere. No one even heard about that before it got in there. So when they get second and third clusters put in the recon, they could do it all at the same time, and there may be lots of other clusters all put in together. Fascinating details, because I had told you in the last 4 months that the House members are writing out the reconciliation, but it's the senators and the House members together that are agreeing upon the provisions. All right, I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's go to cluster number 3. Let's go to the cluster number 3. I'm going to give you a preview, and then after the commercial break, I'll tell you how these clusters works. Cluster number 3 is free school meals for all checks. Then checks for cheaper prescription medication, checks for farmers, checks for free internet, checks for clean energy, checks for workers like independent contractors, checks for seniors like lowering the eligibility for Medicare, checks for dental, checks for vision, collection of hearing aid. Wow. After the commercial break, we're going to go over the big sums of money that viewers are now getting under third stimulus, and you can get as well for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and SNAP. And now with the incredible breaking news from yesterday of another $13 billion from IRS, there's a lot more money for rent. That's the first one. The second one is third stimulus is now getting paid as well, or money for rent, utilities is now being paid as well by the nonprofits again. Yes, the nonprofits, the big success story of this channel in fall of 2020 is back paying people's money. I'm going to explain to you that in the second half of this video. Nonprofits are part of the details that I deliver daily to the viewers of this channel as a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Make sure you join as a member under this video. Then, in the second half of this video, we'll be going over what Bernie's office is saying about that stimulus check. It's incredible, insane news. Then we'll be going to how Bernie's equation and Ron Wyden's equation falls in the timeline of when they call the vote. It's breaking, and you're hearing it for the first time on this morning's broadcast. And then we'll be cutting back to cluster number 3 and explaining how these checks land. There's so much happening. And when, of course, I'll be going through Yaya's comment from Ron Wyden about that SS200. A lot of details happening. It's a big morning. But first, here's a commercial break. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds with the huge updates live from Santa Monica. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. They're Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals. Reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join Lalate Daily for the excitement of the new Lalate live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings Lalate at 9 a.m. Home Lalate returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons Lalate at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on Lalate. And the excitement continues right now, live from Santa Monica on Mornings Live, with the incredible details as Bernie Sanders' staff again reassures viewers of this channel he's giving you a fourth stimulus check. The world exclusive coming up in the second half of this commercial break. After this commercial break, then we'll be cutting to the third cluster. Lots of checks for seniors and workers. I'll be going over this incredible third cluster. We'll be cutting back to third stimulus, which now has this massive cash infusion and could be paying you lots of money across the board. $13 billion is coming, and we did not see this coming at all. Then we cut to the big surprise as the whole parts of the recon bill are put together. I'll explain all those details and more. Boy, it's a big Mornings Lalate, and this is Lalate, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Thank you for the incredible last 3 days of being our biggest days of viewership in nearly 3 months. We're making history again. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is Mornings Crypto right after this video, and then at 11 a.m. is Noontime Lalate. Boy, let's cut right over to third stimulus with this exciting details. We did not think that there was going to be another $13 billion of cash infusion into your cities and states for rent, utilities, food, or internet. But it's happening. And this is huge. So let's go to the numbers right now because you can get this money. I'm going to use some of our inspiration stories, starting with the rent. We had met Mark a few days ago, and he was the guy who got $51,000 from this channel, along with Johnny, who got $80,000. Well, Mark started telling his brother-in-law to watch this channel, and guess what happened? His brother-in-law got big sums of money. Yesterday, I introduced you to Jen. Jen got $40,000 of rent, approximately $38,000. Look at what happened to the rent numbers on this channel. Nisi's was $20,000. We have literally gone from $20,000 to $40,000 in less than a month. Then when we talk about utilities, we were at $5,000 about 2 months ago. Then we went up a little bit higher. Guess what? Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 of utilities, tripling the amount of money that people are now getting for utilities on this channel. And then when we talk about Snap, we were talking about $5,000 about 2 months ago. Now Mark's brother-in-law got $21,000 for Snap. Let's go over all the details of how you get these sums of money. And I have new stuff you're going to learn in this recording starting right now. First, I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6, not 1 of 6, but 6 of 6. They have different eligibility. They all have their own pot of money. Number 2, listen to the keywords I say in this video. And number 3, I have some other places for you to get this money from. All right, first, we're going to get some rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. The incredible great news is that there's 6 places for you to reach out to. Your city hall, your city house authority. Your county hall, your county house authority. Your state hall, and your state house authority. You're going to reach out to all 6. Again, that's the city hall, the city house authority, the county hall, the county house authority, the state hall, the state house authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage utility assistance because of COVID. Now, the first big update on this one is that with this $13 billion of cash infusion, if you've reached out to all 6 of 6 and you're in a rare circumstance where they said no to all 6 places, we're out of money, call them back now. Say, I was told that there's $13 billion coming to your state from Janet Yellen from Department of Treasury. Have you gotten the money yet? If they say no, we don't know about it, then call them up the day after that. Put yourself on the waiting list because the money 100% is landing in every state. And once they have that money, you want to be first on the waiting list. This is huge. Number 2, I want you to reach out to all your utility companies. So if you have 5 utility companies, reach out to all of them. Utility assistance because of COVID. And then the third one is the big surprise. I did not see this happening. 2 days ago, I said on camera, you know what? Reach out to the nonprofits, which were big successes for viewers in fall 2020 and early 2021. They paid for rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. And I said, I don't know if they're still paying it. Well, yesterday on Morning's Countdown, a viewer jumped to the live chat and said, Lalate, I watched your video from yesterday. I immediately called United Way. They said, no one's calling me for rent. I'm first in line. I think I'm going to get approved. There you go. And with that, I brought back one of our hit shows on the nonprofits called Purple. It airs every night at 11:30 on this channel. There was one last night, the one night before. So if you missed the show from last night, it's now archived on the channel. What are the nonprofits? Here you go. United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul. Again, United Way, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul, and Salvation Army. Meantime, a reminder from Lorica and everyone else that as we go into the winter months, start getting in line for holiday gifts from places like Salvation Army now, because they start giving out the holiday gifts in September and October. So start making that phone call now. All right, let's turn to the money for SNAP. SNAP is a lot of money. Mark's brother-in-law was at $21,000. He's now heading to $26,000. What happened? Department of Agriculture is raising everyone's benefits. What is SNAP? SNAP is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. Eligibility is easier than a stimulus check. And what's happening? Department of Agriculture is announcing the end of the raise of your benefits under the executive orders. Those letters are going out saying, hi, your benefit lift is over. But then the next letter coming to you is that, hi, you're getting a lifetime benefit lift of approximately 25% starting in October nationwide. This is incredible, great news. So Lynn Glenn got this money for herself, her son and her mom. Gail got it as well. And Mark's brother-in-law will be sitting on upwards of $26,000. Then the refund check coming back for your state due to overpayment of unemployment benefits, that's landing. Average payment is anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. Reach out to your state for that money. And then the last part of the money is the money coming back from the federal government due to overpayment of unemployment benefits. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it. Average payment is about $1,200 to $2,000, $2,300. If you're in the live chat and you've gotten any of these money from Thurston was posted right now because your success stories inspire people to pick up the phone and call. And with that, make sure you understand that it's important to become a Purple Hawk because these sums of money are detailed every day in the Purple Hawk newsletter I sent out to the members. And I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's cut back to the exciting details in the final 15 minutes starting right now of the reconciliation with that cluster number 3. Well, cluster number 3, before the commercial break, I showed you the items. Let's go over some of the items specifically and see why some of them are actually nearly automatic or are automatic. In the case of the free internet, what they're going to do, they're going to give fortunes to your local city so that they can provide an internet company locally and offer you free internet service. So all you have to do is say, hi, I'm a resident. Here's the username and password. Pretty almost automatic. In the case of prescription medication, automatic. How would it work? You'd see the benefit in your wallet overnight. Let's say you go to fill a prescription today and you pay $30. This becomes law tomorrow. And then you go to refill the prescription a month. Then suddenly it's $10. A savings of $20 right in your wallet. Instantly, that's what the federal government and the president wants you to have. Let's then turn back to the exciting details of the IRS stimulus check and Bernie. Boy, what a 24-hour period it has been. We have the comments coming in from Donnie, comments coming in from Caroline, and comments coming in from Hurricane Tina. The calls are working. You are being heard, Purple Power. Let's go over how this started and what's at issue with this starting right now. It goes back to nearly 7-8 weeks ago, where some people want to say, no, you're not getting anything. And I said, no, yeah, we are. We just push and then we get what we want. And what happened at the time was I said, pick up the phone and call. Call your Democratic senators. And not a lot of people did. Margaret did, and WR did. A longtime viewer of this channel who was in the morning's chat yesterday. And he said he picked up the phone and called. Who did he call? Senator Chris Coons, that's Coons, should be on your list of people for you to call as well. He's a Democrat. He's Delaware. He is Joe Biden's oldest confidant. WR did exactly what I said, call up the phone and advocate for a stimulus check. And he did. I want to tell you why I need a stimulus check, why my family needs a stimulus check. And the staffer to Senator Chris Coons said, yes, he's giving you a stimulus check in the fourth stimulus recon. Well, there you go. Confirmation, world exclusive. Now, in the weeks that followed, we saw the workings of this reconciliation. The language that was released in the 645 pages, that's written by the House subcommittees. There's a House Budget Committee, but there's also Senate Budget Committee. And the Senate Budget Chairman is Bernie Sanders. 3 weeks ago, he said to broadcast media, prior budget chairmen just sort of do their thing in D.C. I like to get out amongst the people and hear from them. I said that's a call to action for you to pick up the phone and say, I need a stimulus check. Advocacy involves telling your story, humanizing the situation. I need it because, my family needs it because, my community needs it because. This is what's happening in my church, my family, my neighborhood, my business, my home. This is why I need it. That's advocacy. Not advocacy is treating someone on the other side of the phone like a FedEx tracking system or a UPS tracking system. When, where, how, who, why, who, when. No, they don't want to hear that. They want to know why you need something. They want to feel the emotion when you tell your story why you need a stimulus check. They want to humanize the situation. And I said, pick up the phone and call. Len Glenn called, and Brother Joshua called, and Margaret called. Brother Joshua is a 2020 volunteer to the community page, picked up the phone, and a longtime viewer, and also Purple Hawk, and advocated for a stimulus check for him and his family and his church. And Senator Bernie Sanders staffer told Brother Joshua, yes, he's putting a monthly stimulus check in there. Yes, the check would be somewhere between $1,000 to $1,400 a month. Yes, the check would be somewhere between 3 to 6 months. But Senator Bernie Sanders needs to know he has your support for this. He needs to know you have your support. I said, pick up the phone and call. And WR was in one of the live chats yesterday, and someone said, I'm praying for this. WR said, there's nothing wrong with prayer. Prayer is wonderful, but you need to pick up the darn phone. I love that. You need to pick up the phone. There was another viewer on Twitter said, I'm very nervous about talking publicly, but I got the emotional support in my stomach, and I've made the phone call. I got the voicemail. I left a message. I feel so much better about myself. Well, the excitement continued as more world exclusives were revealed on this channel, starting yesterday, when I revealed to you for the first time yesterday that Donnie picked up the phone. And Donnie called and advocated. And this is what Donnie says. I called Bernie Sanders, and his secretary said they are doing a fourth stimulus check. I said, this is why I need it. My city needs it. I need it to progress because of my water and everything. I told her that, and she said, okay, they are doing a fourth. That's an incredible message by Donnie because he's advocating for it. He's advocating for it. He's saying why he needs it, why his city needs it, what he needs for the water, and he's telling his specific situation. And the response was yes. Then, for the first time on this channel, here are more world exclusives. Hurricane Tina, who you know is a longtime viewer of this channel, wrote this last night in the live chat. I called Bernie's office, I got through, and they did say they're putting another stimulus check in there. This morning, it continued on Morning's Countdown nearly less than 2 hours ago. Carolyn Smith was in the live chat, and she wrote the following comment in Morning's Countdown this morning. I called Bernie Sanders' office and talked to his secretary, told her that we needed help out. Here, people are losing their homes and what they got. She said she agrees. And Bernie's also putting a stimulus check in there. You are winning, Purple Power. Keep on pushing. This is why you need to pick up the phone and call those senators. And if you've called one today, call the other ones. Call Chris Coons, that's Coons. Call Ron Wyden, Elizabeth Warren. These are people who have gone on the record and said they want to give you a stimulus check. And of course, call Chuck Schumer. Now, what about the nuance of Senate versus House in this equation? Let me explain that detail right now, because this is fascinating. You saw the first 645 pages of the reconciliation bill released by the House, written by the House, but Who votes first? My reporting so far has been that the House would write it up. I was right. My next stage of reporting is that I believe the House will vote first on the reconciliation substantive, not the Senate. Let's go over that equation. You would like the House to vote first because when this reconciliation budget bill is all done, the House is going to say, done. I like it. Done. Finished. Makes it very, very easy. You also want the House to go first because the senators can make changes last. This is huge. After the House gets it, then it would go to the senators. And the senators have a 2-day event called Vote-A-Rama. The Vote-A-Rama gives them the opportunity to change what they're given to them from the House. But senators who are Democrats getting something from other Democrats are not going to remove anything. They're not going to cut something out. They're either going to grow the number or add something in. For example, the paid sick leave. We need more per week for paid sick leave. Or the hazard pay. We need to increase the number for the hazard pay. Or the money for the senior, $4,000 a year. No, we need more money than that. So they'll potentially change the number or they'll add something in. This is why it's so critical for you to pick up the phone and call Senator Chris Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer and say, I need this. We need this. All right, with that, let's cut back to fist stimulus with the big shocker that came from Yaya. I don't know what to say about this. I'm speechless. There's always the possibility for anything. And Ron Wyden is one of those guys that makes lightning happen. Ron Wyden is a senator Democrat, and he was one of the big guys about doing FPUC retro. And Yaya picked up the phone and called Wyden and said, his staffer says they want to put SS 200 in the forced stimulus recon. This is huge. I don't know anything more about this, but if you want to pick up the phone and call Ron Wyden and update me, I will deliver the update to other viewers later today. Let's cut over to fist stimulus, though. Fist stimulus raises your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, and SSA. When do they write this? In the next recon, the one that starts writing later this month, and then goes for a vote later this year in about November. The raise of your benefits will be felt lifetime. How does this work? First, they raise your benefits up lifetime, one hit. Then they apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark's inflation. Inflation's going to be transitory. It's going up. And how high? I'm reporting about 5%. The new consumer spending numbers were out this morning from Wall Street. They were stronger than expected, which suggesting inflation's still there. And they're still concerned about shipping things across the country. They can't get a lot of supplies where they need to be. That's a reason for inflation. So let's do the analysis. First, your benefits will go up. Then if the inflation is, let's say, 5%, your benefits will go up another 5%. Not just next year, lifetime. Because once your benefits go up, they never go down. They're going to remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. That's going to go away. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work. That's going to go away. And the marriage penalty is going to end. And love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and no longer fear loss of benefits and do a pair dance like Rob and Sandy. Will there be a fist stimulus check? They represent they're giving you one next year. And then how about those Purple Hawks? You need to join. Joining a Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP is under the video. Join today because daily I deliver to members who are Purple Hawks a breakdown of all the big money under first, second, and third stimulus. And boy, this is a moment in time because $13 billion are now available from the federal government. We never thought that was happening, which is incredible, great news because this money is now there. That money is incredible. And so consider becoming a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Casino VIP. The link's under the video. And with that, let's do a recap. Because two people yesterday, I think it was Crystal and Nisi, said, that's a lot in the video. It is a lot in the video. We've covered third, fifth, and fourth. So let's go over all the details. First, third, it's still paying out. So if you've gotten some money, but you think you haven't gotten all the money, get some more money. Or if you got some money for a few months and that months are running out, get some more money for months. Number two, $13 billion is landing in your city, counties, and states. That money's landing starting today, the next few days, next week. So get them on the phone and get on the wait list. Be ready to pounce because when that money is there, it's first come, first serve. Then, if you're wanting holiday gifts, get on those lists right now for late September, early October because Salvation Army and all of them are coming up across the board. Then as we turn to fist stimulus, incredible details is that the things for fifth stimulus is still heating up. And the nuance about SS200, don't know what to say about that one. But finally, fourth stimulus. This is huge. Everything from the first 645 pages for the reconciliation, lots of checks of all kinds, from $4,000 to care for the elderly, $51,000 for lifetime MSCs, money to rehab your home in a low-income community, hazard pay. Cluster number 2, weatherization of your home, paid family leave, you have to stay home, and also grants to go back to get an extra education. And then cluster number 3, money for seniors, money for workers, a lot of money. And of course, the IRS stimulus check. Make the phone call today. Sanders, Warren, White, and Coons. If you called one, call a different senator today. Call Senator Chris Coons and say, I need it. Tell your story. And with that, I'll see you next on Mornings Crypto, then see you at noontime. So much happening across the board. I'm so excited for you for today. Hit that subscribe button right now. Next stop, 1 million subscribers. Thank you for the last 3 days of being our biggest days of subscriber growth and viewership in the last few months. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful morning, because the toast is toast and the butter is butter and the coffee is brewing. I'm here, you're here, and this is Morning Tell.